Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens stepped into the ring at WWE Bash in Berlin with everything on the line: the Undisputed WWE Championship and their friendship. Rhodes, battling a knee injury, fought through the pain as Owens hesitated time and again, torn between taking advantage and staying loyal. But in a shocking twist, Cody's resilience shone through as he countered Owens' most brutal moves, finally delivering a series of Cross Rhodes to claim victory. After all that chaos, you have to wonder, can their friendship survive, or will the cracks finally start to show? Cody Rhodes walked into Bash in Berlin with a massive target on his back, and it wasn't just because he was the reigning WWE champion, it was that damn knee. Everyone knew it, from the fans to the commentators, and of course, Kevin Owens himself. Cody had been dealing with this injury for a while, and the whispers around the wrestling world were all about whether he could actually pull off a title defense while being so banged up. You could feel the weight of it the moment he stepped into the ring. Every move Cody made was a gamble, like he was walking on a tightrope, one misstep away from catastrophe. Owens wasn't just any challenger either. He's been in the trenches with Cody during some of the toughest battles, and that friendship made this match so much more intense. The thing is, Owens had an advantage. He knew exactly how bad Cody's knee was, and throughout the match, you could see the wheels turning in his head. He had multiple opportunities to go after that knee and potentially end Cody's reign right then and there. Every time Cody stumbled or grimaced in pain, the audience held its breath, waiting for Owens to pounce. But here's the thing, Owens just couldn't bring himself to do it. It was like watching a car wreck in slow motion. Owens would get Cody in a vulnerable position, and you'd expect him to just go for it. But he hesitated. You could see it in his face, the way his hands would drop just before landing the blow. It wasn't just a physical battle in that ring, it was psychological warfare. And Owens was torn between going full throttle and holding back, because at the end of the day, they were friends. Every time Owens hesitated, you could practically hear the groans from the crowd, who wanted nothing more than to see him finally go after Cody's weakness. But that hesitation, it cost him dearly. When the match started, you could tell there was something different in the air. It wasn't one of those bloodthirsty rivalries where both wrestlers are ready to rip each other apart from the first bell. No, this was about something deeper. Owens and Rhodes stood across from each other, and before anything else, they shook hands. That handshake wasn't just for show, it was a nod to the respect they had for one another. But let's be honest, that respect was about to be tested like never before. As soon as their hands parted, you knew it was on. Owens came out of the gate like a freight train. You'd think he'd start slow, maybe feel Cody out, but no, he was all in from the jump. A shoulder block that sent Cody crashing to the mat set the tone. Then, Owens followed up with a senton bomb that looked like it could cave Cody's chest in. The crowd went wild, thinking this might be over before it really even began. But Cody isn't the kind of guy who goes down without a fight, even when he's nursing an injury. He bounced back, and before anyone knew it, he had Owens reeling from a disaster kick. The speed and precision of that kick caught everyone off guard, especially Owens, who stumbled back out of the ring. But this wasn't just a showcase of athleticism, there was a psychological element at play too. Owens, ever the showman, wagged his finger at Cody after dodging one of his signature moves earlier in the match. It was that classic Kevin Owens taunt, and it got the crowd riled up. It was like Owens was saying, "Not today, Cody. You're not going to pull that move on me." The fans ate it up, and for a moment you almost forgot that this was supposed to be a friendly contest. The tension kept building, and with every exchange you could feel the stakes rising. Everyone in the arena and watching at home knew that at any second this respectful battle could turn into something far more brutal. Kevin Owens had every chance to take Cody Rhodes down, and you could see it all over his face. He knew it. Every time Rhodes limped or clutched at that injured knee, Owens would pause, and you could feel the crowd getting restless. It was like watching a predator circle its wounded prey. But instead of going in for the kill, Owens kept holding back. There were so many moments where it would have been easy for him to exploit that injury, especially when Rhodes' knee buckled mid-move. But Owens? He hesitated. over and over. One of the most intense moments came when Owens set up for a chop block. Now, if you're a fan, you know what that means. It's a brutal move that targets the legs, and with Cody's knee already in bad shape, it could have been a game ender. But just as Owens was about to make his move, he stopped himself. It was like something inside him wouldn't let him go through with it. You could almost hear the collective gasp from the crowd, unsure whether Owens was showing mercy or just not ready to make the call. And then came the apron powerbomb. Owens got Cody into position. This is a move that's ended careers, and everyone watching knew that if Owens hit it, that could be it for Cody. Owens had Rhodes ready to go, his hands gripping him. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. But at the last second, Owens let go. He couldn't do it. The crowd didn't know how to react, cheer for Owens for not going there, or scream at him for missing the chance. It was a mind game as much as it was a wrestling match, and Owens' inner conflict was on full display. After that missed apron powerbomb, the fight hit a new level of intensity. Cody, ever the fighter, started pulling out his signature moves. He nailed Owens with a Cody cutter that sent shockwaves through the ring. The way Owens hit the mat, you'd think that was it, but no. Owens kicked out, and the battle was far from over. Owens retaliated with a massive super kick that nearly knocked Cody's head off, and if that wasn't enough, he followed it up with a rolling senton off the top rope. The impact was thunderous, and for a moment, it looked like Cody might be done for. But in true Cody fashion, he kicked out. The resilience between these two was unreal. It was like neither one was willing to stay down, no matter how many brutal hits they took. Cody hits Cross Rhodes, but Owens kicks out. Owens delivers a stunner, and somehow, Cody survives. The crowd was losing it at this point. It was just pure chaos, with both men throwing everything they had at each other. But the real gut-wrenching moment came when Cody went for a springboard attempt, and his knee finally gave out. You could see it plain as day. His leg just buckled beneath him, and he collapsed. This should have been it. Owens saw his moment. Cody was down, vulnerable, and the win was within Owens' grasp. But again, that hesitation crept in. Owens stood there, fists clenched, and instead of going for the kill, he hesitated. The emotional struggle on his face was hard to miss. The crowd, on the edge of their seats, screamed for Owens to act, but he couldn't bring himself to do it. By the time the match reached its climax, you could feel the energy in the arena hit a fever pitch. Cody Rhodes was running on fumes, his knee barely holding together, while Kevin Owens looked like a man torn between finishing off his friend and sticking to his morals. But then came the Swanton bomb. Owens climbed to the top rope, ready to deliver the move that could have sealed the deal. The air was electric, and as Owens came crashing down, it seemed like Cody's reign might finally end. But just when you thought it was over, Cody got his knees up. The impact was brutal. Owens landed hard, and you could see the pain flash across his face. Cody's injured knee held up just long enough to counter, and the crowd exploded. It was one of those moments where you realize how much Cody was willing to endure to keep that title. This wasn't just about skill anymore. It was about pure toughness, about digging deep when you've got nothing left in the tank. From there, Cody didn't waste any time. He knew Owens was vulnerable, and despite the pain he was in, he powered through. Cross Rhodes, the move that had brought him victory so many times before, was unleashed. But Cody didn't stop at just one. He hit Owens with a series of Cross Rhodes, each one more devastating than the last. The final one was the nail in the coffin. The ref's hand hit the mat for the 3 count, and Cody Rhodes retained his WWE Championship. Owens lay on the mat, beaten but not broken. You could see the heartbreak on his face, the frustration of knowing he'd come so close, but just couldn't get the job done. Cody, too, was worn down, but he had done what he came to Berlin to do. He walked out as champion. The crowd was on their feet, not just because of the victory, but because of the sheer drama that had unfolded. It was a match for the ages, filled with chaos, resilience, and the kind of emotional depth that makes wrestling more than just a sport. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.